No, take it back.
Oh, okay, hold on.
What a dick.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Today is Tuesday. Terrain Tuesday. I'm in the right place. That's a good thing. It's been quite a day. Babysitter Monday. So, anyway, how's everybody doing? Who do we have here so far? Silverthorn, Dr. Bob. So, let's see, looks like doing a pretty good job. Yeah, okay. So anyway, what we've been working on is this trebuchet. We're close to it. We're almost done. We've got our major pieces. I'll go back through that part in just a second. We'll get rid of that and slide it over. Oh. So that you can see where we are. Really, it's not much of a change visually. We have our boom, it's done. We have our weight box, it's done. We have our counterweights. So we'll do final assembly when we get ready to, after it's painted. Today we're actually going to be starting on the coloring and the painting. So let's go to the down camera.
Okay.
Pew. So what we've got here, if you'll notice, that's changed from last week, is, and I showed y'all, I'm going to show you a different way today to do it. These would be the straps of iron to hold this thing together. Now, I've never seen them on this, on drawings, okay? But we put them there to add texture to the whole piece when we're coloring it and getting it together. I mean, I take it back, there have been straps on them. You'll see a few like this up here. But I did a few extras. Mainly, too, because you get anything you're going to build by wood and then you're going to sit here and lob 400-pound rocks out of it, you know, a couple hundred meters, it's liable to start getting a little wonky. So we go ahead and we've added them. So we've added those in. I've gone over the whole piece, dressed edges, things like that. So today we're going to start. Now the sequence, before we do, I'll show you the one construction technique, which is, if I can find all the stuff, is, I had shown you another way to do it, and I ended up doing it a different way.
When you folded the edges with the back of the scalpel?
Yeah. Well, no, I still do that part.
Oh, okay.
It was the pins and how I did that pin size.
Got it.
So, what I did to make these, and it's really just a function of scale. What are we looking at here in reference point? Now, if we can get up close, I was originally just going to do, because this is what I've done in the past, just use pin heads as large rivet type looking things. And you can see they're pretty sizable. But when I started doing these panels here, they were just overpowering. And in fact, at that point, they look like straight pins stuck in the side. So what I did was, here's the piece of iron that's attached, and then I have these studs coming out. And there's a way to do it. And this is how it's strapped up, as you can see up here. And they're a lot, it's a lot subtler. And so it gives it a lot more of a sense of different sizes of things. So anyway, we've done that. And just to give y'all a quick tour, you know, we've added them back here, a set. And we did work in pairs. We have this at the bottom. This one here in the center, because that is actually going to be where it takes most of the brunt, ends up with 3 on it. And I'll go back in, I just ran out of time Saturday, and add one more right there at that edge. So you're going to thistle this at the bottom where it attaches. That's the main structure point. So we'll end up with 4 of these reinforcement bars or plates. And then on the ends, as you can see, one from each side is sort of connecting it. Same up here. You can already see us playing with some paints here, things like that. So I've gone ahead and done all my leveling. I've got it the way I want it to be so that we can get playing. So the thing I'm going to show you is how do we do these plates. So what I was doing, and I don't have a name for it, it's just what I've done stuff like this in the past, is I get my plate. Now what I did is I went ahead, and you can cut this out, but I actually found a pack in our supply junk. And this is just a strip of pre-cut Plastistruck out of a pack. Like I've showed you, when you go to the store, you can get them like this. And this one just happened to be about the size we needed, so we just went with that. Now, I could leave this corner square, or I could take time to, I'm going to get this against the gray, I can take time to do all sorts of things with this. But being a utility machine and not necessarily something that's fancy, I guess you could make one that's going to be really ornate and fancy, I just figured we would go with rounded edges. And so all I'm doing there is taking the time, and you'd want to more or less level it off anyway from your cut a little bit better. And I'm rounding the corners like you see there, as opposed to the hot. And it just gives it a little bit more of a, somebody actually did something. The blacksmith, when they were building it, seemed a little bit more what they would do. And now, as you can see inside of this, to mix it again. And I like mixing up the textures. It's not a kit. It's not like something you ordered, came in on a pallet and you put it together, anything like that. So I went ahead and had different kinds. Like these here actually just came up in a triangle. And I tried that. And then, of course, these are more like what's in the picture. They do have the square edges. But then a lot of these joints, that style, had the rounded corners. What are we doing? We got it. We're off? Okay. So now, it's actually a pretty simple equation to do. Let me get my pens here. So what I used, and this is to help me balance. This is more of a safety thing here when you're doing this, because you're going to do this a lot of times, is, I don't know what they call it, just have plastic tip pins. It has a ball on the end here.
Clothes, like they use them for clothes, like pinning clothes and stuff.
Pinning clothes or dressmaker or something.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's its function, and it's got a nice tip to it. Now, at this end here, this is actually what we're going to use to attach. I'll show you that here in a second, what we're doing. So, to get this done, what I was taking is, get this against this quite again, is I'm actually going to attach right about here with this, my pair of pliers. And all I'm going to do is now go in, I wonder if we can hit that, that's okay, it's close enough. And I'm going to place the tip where I want, because I have a lot of control with this way of doing it. And then when I do that, and I get it where I want, I'm just going to hold this side of it here, and then push down. Now when I did that, I went into the wood all the way like this. I didn't go through the wood into the pad, but I did it all the way through, and that's because we're actually pushing this out. You'll see when we get there. So, but this allows me to maintain the control and things like that. And so then I would just come back in, and let's say I want to apply a triangle pattern here. As you can see, it goes pretty fast. Now, one of the things you have to note here is it's already developing a natural curve like this to the end, which is one of the things we want. You don't want your flaps, when you've put this against the wood, you don't want anything curling up. So what I would do is on this particular side here, this is the back side. You can see that these, get up here, you can almost see the white is where it's sticking out. This is the side I went in on, and right there, so that's the depressed side. And then this, it pushes out, you can see right there, if you can catch this part of that in the, there we go, those little bumps, that's what we're actually going to use as our top surface. And with that being the top surface and this little bit of a curve, it's going to lay flush. So once we've done that to both sides, and then to bend it, it's the same way. If I'm actually looking for, knowing that that's my top, and I'm looking for, let's say, a 50-50 split, I go ahead and bend the piece by hand. Okay, but I'm not going to pinch it hard. All I need it to do is sort of lay in this L and be comfortable. Okay, we'll beat it into submission. So once you have that done there, then I was taking the straight pins that we're used to doing, and I'm now going in through that protrusion. And what it does is it's going to leave this, when we cut it off, it's going to leave a little bit of the white coming up around it. And it does give sort of a unique texture, a look to it. And it just, again, more for painting and more texture for the eye. So I would load these up, let's say wherever I was on the trebuchet. And just using this, you're just going to pin them in. And I'm not looking to go through. These are not for structure. So we're not looking to go through. We're not trying to get it to stick or anything else. In fact, too, they've only stuck in just a little bit there. You can sort of see it. Now, once it's on the board, and once we're ready to go, and once we've added our pieces, let me put this back on here. Okay. Obviously, I can do one side at a time. I could do both sides. I didn't punch any holes over here. But however, whatever's comfortable for you. And then you're going to take your snippers. Now, because you don't want to be divorced and injure your significant other, your kids or your pets in the house, if I was to just snip one of these right here, it'll fly. I mean, it just goes somewhere randomly. And thereby now you're leaving straight pins everywhere. But you're not creating enough force to really cause a problem. So what I do is I come on up next to it, and I'm just going to hold. I can either put my finger on the end of it or just hold it. And then when I hit it, you can hear it snap. Okay, it just right there in my fingers. Should have gone ahead and.
By the way, Ed.
Yes.
Now that we have had a fair number of people filter in,
What is the incentive today to sub?
Oh yes,
What do we got here?
We have dungeon dice. I mean, yeah, pizza dungeon dice.
Dungeon
We've talked
dice.
about them. We've got the pallets in. We're in the process. This is a pre-prep. They come with the dice. They come with a filter figure in there. And you can just get your dice to set and the other. We're going to send a set of these out for every 5 subs.
Correct.
And they'll be random colors. They won't be this silver here. But that's what we'll be doing, is just sending that out for this week as a promo item. Okay.
Are the frees open?
No.
Okay.
We have to get 5 subs to get started.
Every 5 subs, and then it'll start.
Yeah. So anyway, as I was doing here, so now that I've got it and I've shown you that, I'm going to go ahead and just put my finger on top, and I'll just catch these other 2 real quick. Okay. Now, what I now have is that little surface. There's the rivet head sticking up, and I don't know how he's got it set for a certain focus point, but you can see them in here, and they actually stick up. It might be easier to see them to contrast here. But anyway, that's how we're doing the rivets. So you can see them here, see them here. You can do any pattern you want. As you're going along, it just sort of strikes you. Because you're doing them by hand, that sort of gives that, again, that randomness, which adds sort of its own texture to it. So that's how I did all these plastic reinforcement bars, is that right there. There's no glue under here, or under these. Glue wouldn't work anyway, or wood glue. If you put super glue on it, it would stick to the plastic and not the wood. If you put wood glue on it, it would stick to the wood, not the plastic. So anyway, there's no wood under any of these. You just go from there. And they'll get sealed up anyway, because this wood's going to end up getting pretty wet as we go through here. It'll dry, it'll expand, it'll contract, it'll do all sorts of fun things. So I wanted to show you that particular construction technique, and that'll sort of catch you all up there with that. These also make a really good bauble or trim or ornate trim. So if you wanted to put a tower light on the top of this thing, you could cut this off and stick it on in right there. And in fact, too, I didn't dig them out, but I have a box where they've already got really short pins on the end. So they're a really good decorative way to do cheap if you need to have some. You'll find I'll use a lot of these, like if I'm going to build a stairway in the background for a figure mounting, and that's actually a good project. We might try that part of a stairway. Well, we need a ball at the bottom, we're going to need one at the turn, things like that. These are a really quick tool or little trick for that.
Also, thank you, Grazieti, for the gift bomb. Thank you,
Kuroneko
for the Twitch Prime, and then there was Numbat who gifted a sub.
Oh, thanks,
so
Numbat.
we're at 7 subs, and the giveaway is open. So get your hashtag free.
Hashtag free. Get it going. Get it. Yep. Early and often.
Oh, you added a Moobot command for freeze.
So anyway, now when we get through the painting, there's a couple of things that'll happen here, and the painting sequence is actually is reasonably important here, or the dusting and the painting and everything we're going to do. This is 9437 Dragon Black. It's out of the Bones line. It's got a really good coverage aspect to it, which will work well for us because we're going on this plastic. Now, the Plastistruck as it is a very smooth, not polished, but it's a very smooth, tight surface. So there's not any tooth there for anything to grab, and I don't want to prime these. That's not going to be in the Jane. So I'd show you what I'm going to show you here is the various ways we would paint it. But this actually happens after we've done the wood. So you're just going to be careful, but it'll be dark enough it'll carry. And you just go in with your brush and then however you want to. And you're going to paint this whole thing, and this is actually an incredibly bad brush to be doing this with. But
thank you for the gifted sub, Daily for Gru the Wanderer.
Hey,
welcome
Gru.
to the Reaper family.
Welcome, Gru. I saw you asking questions about ReaperCon. Yeah, go check out our forums and also the Discord. There's a lot of people talking about it over there.
A lot's getting ready to happen there. They've got the maps almost finalized for the room. There's a big change up this year because we had so many people last year. We've added space. Adrian got on them for that. And then there's sort of a shift around. The dealer's room's moving to the other side of the room that it was from, and the art's going over here. But it's a really nice, it's a bigger layout. It's really nice. So as you can see, I painted the plastic. Now what I didn't do, because this is really a bad brush, is catch my edges. But I would do that with like a small
finer tip
or a fine tip brush kind of a thing. So anyway, but this is actually something we're going to do at the end. And the reason is, as we add our dust as we do everything we're going to do, is we get this thing aged and we get it sort of
Thanks,
beat into
Nutbat.
what we're looking for here, we're going to dull coat it. And as we dull coat it, after we seal it and things like that, there's my primer for all of this plastic. So it makes it real easy at that point to come back and then deal with those as a separate item. So now, to get onto the painting, we did, by the way, if y'all hadn't seen this, we do have the official climb up. Somebody's got to climb up and go. I haven't attached it yet. I've got to get some work to it, but it will go at that point on this side of the piece. And what happens is after it's fired, somebody gets to climb up that thing, and on the end of the rod, I've just got a piece of string here. This will connect over, and there's a pulley. And since this is hanging up, the pulley's hanging down at that point. And so when that's going on, somebody's got to climb up there, grab that pulley, bring it on down through its length, catch it up, and then they winch the whole thing back in and lob another. So.
Yeah. Thanks, Celtic Boar, for the gifted, and Dr. Bob for the gifted as well.
Oh, wow. Definitely. Boy, y'all are really up on it. A lot more up on it than I am for a Tuesday. So
You're
anyway,
focusing on the
we
trebuchet.
really routed this out and made it look heavy. It's really worn now. This would be a piece, although not having worked on a trebuchet crew, I would anticipate that this particular piece here is something that they periodically replaced. You're grabbing 400-pound rocks and dragging across it several times as often as you can. At some point, you're going to be replacing this.
Yeah, because that's where all the boulders and
Everything's just being scraped along there. Yeah.
Someone last time mentioned like flaming payload. You would have charred marks on it.
You could do that. Oh yeah, definitely, and stuff like that. So now, for the powder, boy, ooh.
It's right there in front of you.
Yeah, I know, and I'm trying to think. I just found out that this pad belonged to Collins. I didn't want to use it because I thought it was a nice pad and belonged to somebody, and then I found out it was Collins. So I was like, game on, get it over here, I'll tear it up. And then I realized that this would probably be more of a mess over than we really want to give it. So I'll stick to the paper.
Also, we're at 2 sets of dice given away currently.
Oh,
Don't
good.
forget to
That's
get your.
fast. Man, y'all are on it.
We have 11 total subs.
There it is.
Don't forget to get your hashtag free in,
freeze.
guys.
Okay.
Also, for anybody that's just joining us, we're about $1,000 away from $30,000 for our Australian bushfire.
For bushfire, which that will run through the question for Ed. Has the Pokey tool been selling well enough to make regular production worthwhile? Yes, it has, Dr. Bob. We have discussed it. It's not off yet. We're going to go in 2 forms. We're going to send this and get a tool made where we can, they'll have a plastic top and a plastic insert, and we'll make those in a volume way. The other tool will be like this. They'll still get cast. They'll be in metal. That's going to be a limited production. Obviously a lot more expensive, only just because it's going to be a handmade version. But we are now getting that in the schedule. No pricing, no timeline or anything else. But at least it passed its test and we're in there ready to go. So, and now I forgot what I was going to talk about. Anyway, real quickly, what we're going to do is start dusting this thing. And where the dust is going to accumulate, and you can see some of the residue that's left in there from what I was just showing you ahead, this kind of a dark area. And it's not really painted black, it's actually just dust, and it soaks into the wood, or doesn't really soak, it's not liquid, but it just falls into the porosity of the wood real easily. And since we're humans operating this thing, from about this height down is actually going to be pretty nasty all the way around. This is where they're chomping and moving and walking and just everything under the sun. And as we get higher, it'll get it'll be a higher, more refined. I'll put it that way. So with that, and I'm not going to tear up the board. We'll use this. Now this powder we're going to use and we'll play with. And what I'm going to try and do here today is we're not going to try and do every step the whole way through. I'm going to get through a chunk of this, then we're going to go in and play with actually painting it and stuff. Because I could blow an hour or so just on doing the powder. We'll go out here. The reason I shake it, it's not a liquid. You're not going to shake it up per se. It wants to sit and cake and compress, so you shake it to get it agitated and be loose. You want to use bad brushes for this. By the way, just for all the new people, so you know what we're using here. This is at Micro Mark, and if you read upside down, you already know, but I'll show it for everybody else. This is what we're using, these Weathering Powers, the Doc O'Brien's brand. Out of the various things I've tried, I like this one for the pre-ground. If you're in a hurt, you can use charcoals and grind them up, as well as pastel pencils. Either one, that's what this really is from a thing. So when you use it, and just get it on the brush, and you can sort of see there's a lump there and how it's just starting to fall off right here, kind of a thing. And then when you're putting it on, you're just going to pretty much move it around. And as you can see, I'm building up a very translucent grime is really what it's going to do for us. And then also, too, it's got a very irregular look to it. So it's not like a paint or anything else. It just sits down and goes to town. So we'll work on this side where I'd already started. And again, this is where they're walking, things like that. So in my brain, I always try and imagine where are they going to walk the most, what are they going to have to do. Well, they're going to hang around stuff they can lean on, okay? So these kinds of things here are going to end up probably grimier up to this hand level and things like that. There's not a whole lot to walk in, except that I would anticipate that they're going to spend more time in this center area here, because that's where the payload would be, that's where they're going to have to be getting it ready, things than more at that end. There might be lesser at that end. But anyway, these are there. So like right here, you can see it's got a little bit of a black to it. And you just come right in, and you can come in as heavy as you want, and you just bring it out. And then you just keep going across it and running on it until it goes. And that's sort of what we're going to do. And don't worry about overdoing it, because you can get it off relatively easy. Water will take it down, back down pretty easy. And just rubbing on it with different things. So I go in, and I'm just really wanting to hit, and especially at ground level. And we do want some sort of a randomish pattern to this idea as we're going along. And you don't have to keep getting out of the jar. You can see I've got enough now as it's falling off that I can come back in. And we're going to give sort of a modeled effect, texture as I call it. And you can start seeing where I've just added some spots in here, things of this nature, to the whole thing. And these will show through as we go through. But this is where all of the little areas where the grime's going to affect, collect, be ground in. It's just sitting on open ground, just doing what it's doing.
From weather and different...
Yeah, just, you know, it's like a wooden fence that we actually are working with every day. And sieges could last a long time. And obviously cut through winters and stuff like that. So there's just really no telling. And they're not going to be really excited about having to rebuild this very often.
Would you say, Ed, that because of the amount of grime and stuff on this trebuchet, that like, if they touched it too much, do you think they could go blind?
I don't know about that kind of. In what way? In what way are they touching it to go blind?
Well, there's because there's a lot of grime all over it. Because they start touching their face, and maybe they get some in their eyes, and they touch the trebuchet too much and they go blind.
That could happen. I think they're the ones that put the grime on the trebuchet.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
It's not their getting the trebuchet didn't come pre-grimed. I guess you could do that, but
just checking in.
Yeah, I think you just wanted to see if your voice still worked. So anyway, and you can be as you can see, I'm very liberal with it. And that's because we're going to come back with a second brush after we get some on here. And as we go on up, that's part of the whole, the grime as it'll go. And
Are we going to only use the black on it?
no, we've got other colors.
Ooh, look at that. Looks like gunpowder.
Yeah,
Looks very like sooty.
black powdery.
Charred.
Yeah.
People were saying like flaming arrows, marks, and things like that.
Oh yeah, you could go to town. That's half the fun is weathering. Just imagine what it's been through. Imagine what's happened and just start creating it. There is no wrong.
Well, look on the bottom side of that. You haven't even touched it. It's just from sitting on the paper.
That's from that part. And you also don't have to worry too much either about getting it into areas that's not gonna, they won't be seen. But so we'll go along. Let me get to a point where I can go because I know the water's going to wash around on it.
I love that we can sit here and build a trebuchet in this day and age while casually having a conversation about cleaning oneself for colonoscopy. Mm-hmm. This is a marvelous day and age.
Yeah.
Cleaning yourself for a colonoscopy.
Yeah, it's somebody in chat.
Oh.
Yeah,
Man, that's like the two big whips of life, right? Are dying and a colonoscopies. There you go. I feel, yeah.
Wow. There's so many other things, and colonoscopy is near the top for you, Ed?
Yeah.
Hey,
It's
I
the-
love
it's the-
how
it's the
Yeah,
prep.
Bigos.
It's the whole prep. It's all the stuff before.
I'm glad I have this second camera here because otherwise you'd be entirely off frame for the main camera.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good call. Good point, Vigos Peeps in chat. He says, who's cleaning the desk after Ed is finished?
it does. It does most times. Now,
Yeah,
sometimes I get up and leave, but
Yeah.
I try not to.
Ed does a good job of at least picking up most of the stuff that's there.
Yeah.
Now, we do have little small detritus that are spread across. Like, I'm going to be finding wood shavings until we move out of this room, I imagine.
Or longer.
Or longer, that's fair. Because we don't know what's going to be
There's
afterwards,
already wood
do we?
shavings in the other office. They're already there.
There is.
Well, this glass sits up off of the table with little silicone pads, and there's all sorts of wood shavings.
We know.
between the
Yeah,
pads,
oh,
First
we
time
know.
I thought, I was like, what the hell? You know.
I don't understand how that much got in between
In
that
there, I
little
know.
crack. It's kind of mesmerizing to
Yeah,
me.
it is kind of crazy. It
It
looks
looks
like
like
David
y-
Blaine.
It looks like you lifted the glass up, worked, and then put the glass
Back down to hide it, yeah. Like they won't see it under this clear glass.
For anybody in chat that hasn't joined the Discord yet, we got about 160 members this weekend.
What do y'all talk about?
Discord?
Anything?
Hmm?
Are
Oh,
you
what are we
using it
talking
as a
about?
chat, or what are you using? Analog type chat or voice? What are you doing?
Type chat. There's all kinds of sections. There's Kickstarter, there's Reaper streaming, there's ReaperCon, whips, finished paint jobs, art, sculpting, toolbox.
Oh wow.
There's all kinds of stuff. There's memes, there's pet pictures, RPG hangout.
all the fun stuff.
Yeah, we're fast approaching 1,000 members, so
And
I think
speaking
we
of
might do
which-
something.
At 1,000, Planer has offered
Planar Crossroads in chat.
to sponsor one of our giveaways.
Mm-hmm.
So she wants to, I assume, get some goodies and then give them away to you folks.
Yeah.
So
Also, stay tuned to Reaper Land on Fridays. We'll probably be doing. I have some exciting stuff for the Discord on Fridays, so come tune in on Friday. But if you haven't joined yet, I would highly recommend it. It's the fastest way for you to communicate with us. So we have a questions tab, so if you have any questions, you can go over there and ask them.
Who answers them?
Me.
Well, that's good.
If it's a question I can't answer, then I will go find the person who can answer it for you.
Unless I'm hiding from you.
Yeah. And then it might take a while for me to get the answer. But I will get the answer for you if you tag me and go over there. Just so you know. It's been a blast to watch it grow. This weekend was a big push. So
What happened? To, what caused the push? Just because?
I posted it everywhere on social media.
Oh.
Oh, Ed, can you go towards the center of the thing? There you go.
Sorry. Yeah, you guys stay on me. I get focused
That's
on
why I'm
this.
here.
Yeah. I'm trying to get to a point where we have a demarcation line for the water and things like that that I can sort of tack back into.
Oh, for the
Because
dust.
I'm not going to
I
normally.
understand.
For the dust, yeah.
Yeah.
For the grime.
Well, and as we're going, because I would be going all the way. I'd do all of this first, then do all of the next, but we don't have that kind of time.
Pendrake asks, how is the Discord different from the forums? See, I know the forums are really good for keeping things like documented in little, like a filing cabinet.
Very
That's
linear.
how I would say it. But
Very
Discord's much more
It's a little
day
more-
to day,
Right, it's a little more real time too.
real time.
So
yeah.
you can actually message someone and they can get that notification, and it's less of a let me check this later kind of a.
Yeah, it's more of like a what's
A
happening
lot of
right
the
now.
game, that's where I got into Discord, was off the game stuff. It's real easy to communicate. That was an area to use it for. It does archive a lot of stuff.
Exactly,
it's,
Max
It's
Powers.
really it's handy.
Yes, but we also have sections where there's news and stuff like that where people can't post in there, but only moderators can. So it doesn't get cluttered. So it's very clean, and so all the news is there, all the ReaperCon stuff. So a lot of the things that it doesn't get cluttered and thrown away, or people can't miss it.
And it gives you the ability, if you want to hop in and voice chat with people.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I
I think
gotcha.
we're in the future. We're planning maybe some classroom stuff in the future. We have some
There we go. Be careful. Yeah. Yes.
we have some audio channels that we can use for classes in the future. Yeah, a lot of people. Oh, Rings Raccoon. I started using Discord with my raiding guild for WoW. Yeah, Discord is primarily used by gamers. Back in the day when everybody used Ventrilo and
Vent,
Skype and Vent,
TeamSpeak.
TeamSpeak. Discord's, Mumble. But Discord's kind of like the modern iteration of all that stuff, but way better in terms of text channels and forums and things like that. It's very good because there's bots that you can program, and all the bots can do specific things. So it's been a blast, and
It's not going to make it look better, but at least it'll be.
we'll
less-
clean it up. I'll clean
Yeah.
it up better.
We'll take some stuff to it. Don't worry about it.
Also, get your hashtag FreeZen. We're at, I believe, 11 right now, right?
Yes.
We're at 11, 12. We're at 12. And every 5, we're going to give away these Pizza Dungeon dice. If you guys can see here on the
There we go.
corner camera.
So there we go. You'll get 1 cube, and there'll be random colors, random dice, and you'll have your random figure. And these are actual productions, so you'll get to be some of the very first kids on the block with them.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm cleaned up my dust. This is where we've landed. So it almost looks like it had a flash fire around it in its own weird way. But this is sort of to get it dark in all our low areas from that end of it. I'm not going to mess with it. We're just going to work in this area. Now, the next thing I would need to do is, in my world, is I'm going to add some wet gray to it. And I have a gray here. And this is 9089 Cloudy Gray.
Cloudy gray.
Cloudy Gray. And
There you go.
use that as a palette. Now all we're doing here is we're going to streak it and stain it, and it's actually going to mix with the black soot, I guess, or it's going to make a mess, but that's half the fun of this.
Thank you, Kieran Echo. That's perfect.
What do you say?
He said the table is nicely withered now.
You got it.
You're
man.
correct.
All right. So when I do this, and that's why I put it, and we can see it here. We'll get it on the. There's that gray dot right there. It's in the shadow. We'll put it over here. Okay, what I've done is I'm going to add just water here, and we're really looking for a stain more than a paint here. And then we don't want it to necessarily be dark. We're not looking for coverage to it, but you just have to sort of play with it. So since we're not going to use this part, I can go in and look at it and see if that's what I'm looking for. And that is sort of about where I want to be
Would you
for the
say
gray.
glaze consistency or wash consistency?
Man, thinner than both.
Thinner than both.
This
Wow.
is thinner.
Okay.
This is really watered down. In fact, too, I've pulled it down so far that it's sort of beating here around the edge, that area there. So it's because you're thinking of it as a stain. You're not trying to be opaque at all.
Very, very, very thin.
Very thin. And you can see in its coverage. In fact, here I'll show you. I'll just take a daub of the paint and put it here. You know, you can see there's the paint I just put on, and it's even watered down paint. And this is where I was going with. Because I can work light and I can keep adding. That's the trick. If I start off dark, you can lighten it, but man, that's a whip. So anyway, I'll play with it at that area. I'll get a little bit more water in here to play with. Now, what we're looking for here is that gray fence. And instead of actually just painting this whole thing, what we're going to do is start going in and streaking it. But streaking it in the way that the water's going to run. So as you can see there, I'm sort of using a downward, and that's actually too much there. There. And when we've done that, you can go back in and just sort of do this with a paper towel. Now, it's really, I'm trying to see if I can find a good angle. It's hard to tell the color differentiation. But, and this might be too small of a surface. But one of the things that happens when you're staining this is after I've stained an area, when I come back over that area again, it'll actually build back up, even like, it's like painting over cheap paint, and you paint a wall and then you paint a second part of it only, and all of a sudden that area stands out. So that's sort of what we're doing here with this, is, again, we're going to add texture by just hitting some spots like that, and then we're going to let those go and dry. And then we could go up here to the tip, and same thing. Now you can go straight in on that powder, and it'll pull some of the powder, it'll wash it down, it'll add the gray to it as we're going along. So it's not really a stroke, it's not like a wash. I'm not wanting to just go over it uniformly. I'm actually just applying, and that's really the painting of something like this, is a lot like that. And then since this was so dark here, and we're moving up and we're lightening out, that's where you're going to find more of this to it as it's going up.
And this is only on the bottom half of the model.
Yeah, we're only working on the bottom half now. And let me just get where we can see. This sort of, it's neat, but it throws some weird shadows, this new lighting. For them to see. Is that, there we go, a little bit better. I'll get to an angle here. So here we're just pulling, and I can come down here and grab some of the black, and as you can see it'll pick it back up and mix with it. And we're just sort of coming in and almost just splotching it. That's the word we're looking for. Is more of just a splotching.
Good morning, Aetherworks Nick.
He should be already at work. After we get through the clock resets, the time zones, daylight savings, daylight, when you go through that cycle, then he'll be driving home. He'll be driving into work when that hits. So, and I'm not going to do this side because we're only going to work on this side now. But I just come in, and I need some more water. And we need actually a lot of water. Sounds like Rosanna Dana.
More paint. Always more paint.
Always more paint. So the splotchiness, and there's the word I'm looking for. The splotchiness is what we're trying to achieve, is just sort of a random. And it will cut. Can we see? Yeah.
And the wood's going to absorb this paint.
Yes. The wood will absorb it, the powder absorbs it, it plays with it. And then by coming back and doing that, we get more of the splotchiness we're looking for.
It'll kind of pick up more in certain places.
Because the end result here is after we've made this big, massive undercoat like this, is we're actually going to go in and wash it with a red. I don't know what red yet. This is clear red. I'll play with a few things. But it'll be really, really a very, very transparent red. I mean, very washed out. And so up here where it's lighter, because we'll be doing less of the splotchy stuff, you'll see a lot more of the red. And as it goes down, obviously it's going to get darker, and that's sort of what ties it together, for lack of a better thing. I know years ago, one of the painting techniques that I would use is if I was going to be painting a bare chest, like a barbarian's got his chest there, I would go in, paint the bottom color, then I would come back in and I would highlight the upper muscle parts, right, by just painting it in, not dry brushing. You'd paint and follow the curvatures and do all of that. And you would play with this layering idea, and then at the same time, when you're done, you would put a wash over the whole thing, and that would sort of pull all those lines together. It was sort of a little trick. That's what we're going to do here, same exact thing. And because of the nature, since we are looking for it to be so weird, I'm actually going to see if we can't get to the red today so I can show you.
Is that why you're only doing one side?
Yeah, that's why we're only going to mess with this right here, because I can always go back and fix the problems this way.
There you go.
Yeah. And it really does look nasty, but it's not. Up close, this camera, at least my monitor, seems to be making things very black or white. I'm not seeing much gradient. We'll just focus in this area here. What time is it? It's, 1:15. So we'll focus in this one little area here. Now, in here I totally forgot to do it. So I'll have to, the powder, so I'll have to come back and do that. Okay. There we go. Now we have enough water. And we'll just drop some gray paint up there in the corner. So it's just literally almost our own little pool here. And
hey, ladydiredoggo. Welcome. Also, don't... Oh, go ahead.
now when we get done, we will get it photographed and up into some close-up photographs so that you won't have to worry about monitors and things like that. We'll be able to get some good photos of it up and about. Now, when you load the wood up like this is part of that whole transparency side of it. Is by loading the wood up with all of this here, you now it's now doesn't have near the absorption, and so we're starting to see it just getting thinner, easier to work. As I'm pulling it on up. So, inside of here. Justin, I'm going to have to do a take 7 real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take 7.
Yeah.
We can run some ads. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Actually, no. That's
I could do some shilling for all of our other YouTube stuff.
So it's got to dry for a second, and you can do that on all your PSAs. Because it needs to sort of dry anyway for a second.
All right. Well, I do kind of want to actually try the ad running and see if it works.
Mhm.
Those of you who are subscribed will not get an ad, I believe.
All right.
Everyone else, though,
I'll be
will
right
get an
back.
ad here. John, do you want to move over?
Yeah,
for
yeah,
a
I can.
second?
Yeah.
We can show off the Miniature Mondays. I wonder if he showed them off yesterday. Hey, chat, did Josh show off the Miniature Monday stuff yesterday?
I think he did.
I'll show it off again. Hey, everybody. Do we have a wide cam?
Hold on. I ran an ad, John.
Oh, okay. Hey, if you're not getting an ad, say hey in chat. Oh, they can't hear me.
Yeah, they can.
Oh,
if they're not
if they don't have an
not
ad?
subscribed, they can hear you. But let me do this.
Hi, everybody. Oh, you guys like my new hat? Isn't that cute? Hey. Oh, everybody's saying hey. No ad here.
Yeah, because I do think a majority of the people in chat.
Yeah, they're subs. Everybody's subs.
Are not subs. Yeah.
Good guys. Yeah, you guys like my new hat? Nice hat. Thanks. I bought it this weekend. Yeah, so I'll show you this stuff in a second. But Ed had to step out for a second. We'll give a little bit of break. Also, if you guys have an Amazon account, make sure that you can link your Amazon Prime to your Twitch account, and you'll get 1 free sub a month. So you can use it for whatever your favorite streamer. You can use it for wherever you need. So if you haven't linked it already, it should give you the option when you go to gift a sub and things like that. Are you back already?
Yeah.
Take 7. That was like a minute.
What'd you think?
There you go.
Hey,
Ed's back.
just because he's a boomer. Right, Ed?
Woo!
I'm glad to be a boomer.
That's fair.
I got about a bajillion reasons why it's good to be a boomer.
No, I think it's hilarious to make fun of people for doing something that not everyone gets to do, which is grow old.
Yeah.
So,
Hell, I even said I evolved did my evolution to Super Saiyan the other day, and no one said a thing. Justin, what does
I'm
that
not a
make you?
DBZ fan at all.
Doesn't
not even
matter.
a little bit. Well, I mean, I know what it's from, but it doesn't strike any chords with me. It does John. He likes DBZ.
Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my younger self did.
your younger self.
I haven't watched it in recent years. Yeah. I know that the first half of Super, the most recent one, was kind of iffy with animation styles and everything. Were kind of wonky from episode to episode. But once it gets past the 2 movies sagas, once the Tournament of Power starts, it gets pretty good.
All right.
For all you Dragon Ball Z people. Dragon Ball Supers.
So now what we're going to do is
Ed working on this trebuchet is still not as long as one DBZ fight.
true. Yeah, it's all like Pirates of the Caribbean sword fight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go forever. Let's see. Shows how prepared we are.
We?
I use that term universally.
Oh, okay.
He does. He
doesn't-
really takes it. The royal we is
Yeah.
100%. Like, we in his vernacular is just the royal we.
Yeah, guys, look at this camera. Look at this camera. This is way cleaner than it was the past couple of weeks.
Oh, this whole area? I
Yeah.
know John got it because I was running late. He got it set up. It was organized. I thought, man, you're blowing my whole
And then
emoji.
Ed goes and goes, oh, I don't want any of this stuff here. Oh, also this camera, this needs, nope, here.
No,
move
over
this
there.
too.
I tried, guys.
I was telling John that too in the beginning. I'm like, John, he's just going to move all of that.
Yeah.
He's also just going to shift the camera and work off of
Off of camera.
off of
I'll get over
frame.
here and hide in the
You're right.
corner.
I'm like, and look at that. All of it's happened. I love it.
You're right.
Yeah.
Everything you said happened.
So this part here, we're playing with this idea.
At least you're consistent, Ed.
Oh, he is. He's very consistent. Also, Ed, what color is that? Because that's looking real nice.
Clear red.
I like.
Clear red.
Oh, that's why. Okay, it's
It
real
looks
bright.
orange on my screen on the
kinda
monitor.
Well, it is a red.
It's
I can tell.
outputting reddish.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's a TN panel there. So if you look at it wrong, it's going to be the wrong color.
So at this point, I really don't know how much red we need. I haven't played with it. So I have no idea. So what we're going to do is get a test subject.
Yeah, everybody says
Like
orange.
this. Well, it really is red. I mean, you wouldn't respect a badass orange catapult.
Oh, wow. I guess it just matters on what people are watching it on.
Yeah.
That's true too.
Yeah.
What they're consuming it through absolutely has a bearing on it too. You guys, in fact, at home, you can make it look purple if you want it to.
Oh, true.
Yeah, they can make it look whatever color they want.
So I'm actually thinking what I've got there is still too much red in it. So it needs to be watered down some more. Because we're actually looking for, there we go, a translucent red.
You guys
or orange or purple.
Yeah, you guys have heard of wet palettes. This is a wet pool.
Well, yeah, this is a pool palette.
Yeah, pool palette.
Yeah, because you can still see the waters over here in the corner. That's just clear there. So, anyway, now, what we're going to do is just take we'll start at this point, and it'll show you the contrast. And we'll go from there down.
And if it's dripping like that, do you know the consistency is accurate?
Either way, it doesn't matter. I'm going to come back and daub it with a paper towel.
Oh, okay.
I feel like Justin's learning a bunch of paint terms now with Ann's show every morning.
Yeah.
And Josh and everybody.
Well, this is sort of way off the beaten trail anyway. This isn't really miniature painting. It is. I mean, you can paint miniatures using this.
That's why I asked earlier about the glaze, because I now officially know what the consistency of the glaze is supposed to look like.
Is he a thing that goes on top of donuts?
Yeah, it's not that.
There we go, like that. That's a good glaze.
Weathered and bloody. Perfect. Solid table.
Yeah. Okay, now, it's doing it, but not enough. So this is where we're going to go back and hit some pigment in the corner over here. And this is just part of the playing, and you can't. That's the beauty of this. You're not going to mess it up. Just start light and work darker, and you'll go from there.
Oh, get your hashtag freeze in. What are we at now? 11 still? 13?
We're at 13.
13.
Now, another thing you can do here is I started off with a heavier pigment up here to get more of the red. This is where it got, and we'll play with this later. But if you'll notice, it's actually just running all the way down. And so as it gets farther down, to get the spottiness that we put in down below, just add liquid at certain points. Just a lot less, you see. And so in turn, now the whole thing is turning from this all the way down into this. And then when you get it sort of where you like it, then you can fix it somewhat by just getting this and daubing it. So, you just play with it and go.
Oof.
And so,
Thank you, Dr. Bob. That's one more.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Bob.
because originally we're painting it in reverse. Originally it was painted red. And then we could, and that's a traditional way, you could go in and paint it red, and then we could apply weathering technique after weathering technique or this, that, and the other. And that's a fine way to do it too. But I sort of always liked.
And now we're at 3.
3 dice.
Yep,
Oh,
3
that's
dice.
good.
So we'll be giving away 3 sets of
So
Pizza
far.
Dungeon dice.
So far.
Still got about X amount of time left. Painting it backwards. That is kind of new and odd. Most people would do the red first, right?
Well,
And
that's
then-
your traditional way. I mean, it is, and
Yeah.
and you can do that. And I've done that a bajillion times, doing tank models and all sorts of junk. And it's fun, but with this, since I have the wood, it makes it more predisposed to do this and keep. Because if I'm going to paint it red, well, I'm going to lose a lot of my wood grain, and I'm going to lose a lot of the texture, the character that we have built into it. Mm-hmm. That's, I guess, the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, the
I need
history.
Ron in here, the walking thesauruses.
The history.
Not a dinosaur, in case you guys are
Yeah,
curious.
yeah. My favorite thing about Ron, guys, is whenever I'm watching Reaper Live on Thursday, whenever he does his little not catchphrases, but his little quips like, "Oh, that's like a cow wearing ice skates on an ice rink" or something like that. You know,
Right.
very Texas, you know.
Yeah, that's his yeah, his town.
It's so funny when he does things like that.
So I think I've got, yeah, no, here we go.
Oh, Justin, do you know about Heartthrob Pink?
Yeah, I can tell you what you need to know.
Yeah, Ed's the. I'm gonna default to Ed here.
Oh, okay. Somebody asked, when will Heartthrob Pink be available? Question mark. That was Vigo's
This
Pink.
afternoon. Started showing up in orders, being put in orders. It's a
It's like breast cancer awareness pink,
yeah,
right?
it is. It's just being put in all the orders, and it started this afternoon. And how do I know this? Because I was actually had to go out and fix the labeler
Oh.
that it was on, and I was like, "What's this color?" And then I got the whole story then.
There you go, Vigo's Peeps. There's your answer.
Yes. Is there there's not a minimum,
But you
right?
can't purchase it though.
No, it's you. Not that I know of. You
It just
can't
goes in
purchase
your
it.
orders.
It just goes in your orders, and there's no minimum. If it'll fit in the box, basically, if you order anything more than just one miniature, because we have a special box, we put one miniature in, one blister in. If you do anything past that, then yeah, you'll get it.
Oh, thanks, Pendrake.
All
They're
right.
they're staying out of the giveaway because they have a crap ton of dice already. So they're giving up their spot.
But
for
do you
somebody
have
else.
these dice?
Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
have
these come with
dice.
collectible minis in
Yeah,
them.
this
That's
comes
what
with
makes
a
them
collectible
special.
mini.
These do have minis in them.
And technically, Collins was telling me about this. I think we talked about it.
Where's
There's-
the key? Let me see that.
There isn't there a couple that are like per each run of color? There's some overlap ones where
They're
they can be
supposed
multi.
to be, but they're all sealed,
Oh.
so we don't know. But
Correct.
as they transition the colors,
But there's like one in
But,
200 or so. So if you
yeah,
get one
it's
with
not-
multiple colors in it,
Please take a picture of it.
take a picture of it, please.
yeah, we want to see it.
because they're actually very rare. So
So anyway, each one comes in some sort of it'll be one of the translucent dice people will be in there randomly. Now this is the one that you all opened up on the show.
Yeah.
But if you can see in here, the black bags, that's what they
You
are.
won't be
So
able
that
to
way
see
you don't
what's
know
in
what
there.
you're getting.
Is it available from the UK site? Kurino Neko says.
No, not yet. The dice or the pink?
The
The
paint.
the pink, I
Probably
think.
probably
No,
not.
it can't. It can't be yet because it was just done today.
Yeah, it was just done.
So,
So it'll be available all the way to the end of February,
yeah,
from what I understand.
he will get some to be able to put in. Yes.
And Miniature Monday kits will be on the next pallet, so they should be there just in time for March. Just so you guys know.
The
And
March
actually,
kit.
while I was down there, they ran out of one of the colors for the Miniature Monday kit.
Yep, they're making them right now.
Yeah. So those have turned out to be very popular.
That's the whole Bob Ross effect.
Yeah.
It's very fun. It's very cool. I just like the whole aspect of creating a whole encounter over the course of a month that you can just plug into any of your games. Plus, you just have them for like townsfolk or just a random monster
Whatever you
by
wanna do.
itself, or you can put them all as together. It's such a great idea.
So, as you can see, I've gone back in and I've dried up the blopping, I guess, or the splotching, the paint. Now, this is where we are now, and what we're looking at is just really the red line down this area. And as we can see, and I have to look at it, get some pointing here. Here's that first plate that I painted black, so you can see we'll have that contrast. Now, this will get some dry brush, this will get some rust on it, things of this nature. You'll see some drainage marks on it as we're getting there. These up here will actually have where the metal's oxidizing and draining and stuff. But you can see this is sort of the color pattern that we're going through and how it's really sort of washed out and grimy down here. And as we get farther up, it'll be more of that blood red color that it was on its very first day when they painted it and were ready to go. And so from a distance, you're still going to see, if you were on the receiving end of this equation, you would still see that it's the bright red trebuchet that's been throwing 400-pound rocks at you.
Yeah. I was going to say it looked really kind of garish whenever the paint was first put on.
Yeah.
But now that the wood has absorbed it and everything, it looks
It
a lot
does,
more muted.
and as it dries out, it'll even fade more. And then you can actually, and you just rinse and repeat. And the more layers you put on here, again, more powder is needed, some more gray, then add some red. That's where you're going to come up with this. It really ends up having quite a very, very unique finish to it that is not going to be something you're ever really going to see, except unless you did something like this. But you're aging it. Again, it's out there being worked as a tool, so it's getting just torn up, and no one's really. They're taking care of it to the extent that they don't want their head chopped off because it's not throwing rocks.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. But there's no inspector that's going to come along and say, "Oh, you missed a spot. Get to painting."
Hey, your trebuchet's dirty. Clean it up.
Yeah, clean it up.
Get your pressure washer out.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm trying to find angles so that y'all can see. This is the area basically that we focused in, and you can see how it's coming on up into that. And then I'll pull the gray in. So is everybody going to see it? Does it?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay.
I like having this monitor where we can see ourselves.
Yeah. So we can get in there. So yeah, and so at that point we would go in, and I don't have the colors here, but I'll show you when we do the rust spots and things like that. So this week I'll try and get the bulk of this part done that I've shown you all the technique to. We'll get it to a point, and then we'll come back and we'll do the final details on it and call it done.
It'll be done.
It'll be done. And we will have it at ReaperCon. We're going to put it in there so people can get up close to it and photograph it and anything like that as well.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Let's see if we can get a... But you can see, and also too, you can see it almost as getting that really aged brown look, even though we didn't even use a brown. Our brown is actually the tan that's the contrast, the sand color that's coming from below. And then this stuff starts sitting inside the grooves. It almost looks like mold building up. I wish we could really get a close-up of it. Can you come over and...
We can.
The new camera that we're going to be switching to, Justin will be able to do everything from his desk. Yeah, he'll be able to do all that stuff instead of having to come manually do it. It should be able to be a lot better. So.
How close do you want to get at?
Whatever, as close as we can get.
Oh, you can get right next to it if you know.
Okay.
Let's do this, Ed.
What?
Or come down with it. You don't have to hold it
Okay.
too much.
Okay. That'll work. That'll work. Okay.
There we go.
So now that we can see what it's doing, so as you can, yeah, that's what I was saying, you can start looking into here, and it almost looks like we're getting mold impregnated. You're seeing the spotting down here, you know, in this joint. These are the splotches that you're starting to see. Damage on the wood's going to absorb and look darker. You know, overall, you get the idea of where we're going with this. And this is the sort of actually the fun part of the whole thing for me, is to sit here and just play with this all day. And it's, in a weird way, you're going, it'll never get done, but you have to obviously stop at some point. But, so, there we go. That's what we're going to be doing. I'll get more of it done and pull it in and show you anything that you didn't see today. So I hope that helps y'all, what you're doing. And it's fun, too, if you're ever working with this stuff. Now, if you want to do this effect on a plastic or a metal or a resin or something, all you really have to do is get a good primer on it. It's actually a dusty primer is what you're looking for, not a fine primer like you would prime the figure with. Just go really get some cheap primer. That's and another way to get dust on there is to spray, when you're spraying your primer, spray it from a great distance, because it comes out, and the way the spray paint works is it's shooting out little tiny dots, and those dots land on the surface and lay on top of each other because they're still wet. They'll connect. Well, if you get farther away, that little dot's traveling through a lot of air, and it'll build up a surface on there that's obviously unacceptable for miniature painting, but if you want to play with powders and all that kind of stuff. So that works real well. This would be, we did this last time, and for those who weren't here, this is where we did various powders, and we did them in directions, things like that. This is actually, when you're doing this, a really good place to experiment before you commit to your final piece. And it gives you, you know, is my consistency right, things like that. So play with that. That's about it for right now that I've got for this week.
And then when we come back next week, everything will be painted up?
I'll try and get
almost
to it. Yeah, it's a matter of finding time to get up here and sit down and do it. But you can see how fast it goes once you get started. So I don't anticipate. And also too, we still have some buttoning up to do on the edges here to cover up the axles. But you can't do that until you get everything painted and how it's going to work. Because even this will have its own texture style to it. Up here is rarely the humans are there, but you're seeing a lot of working in that area. This end of it down here is going to have to be really, really grungy. I haven't quite thought about it, but we're going to figure out a way. I'll probably come in and do some dry brush or playing with this to get it a little bit more than just jet black kind of a thing. I did on the counterweights add the straps on that were like in the picture. Oh, do the down camera again, Justin.
You might have to bring your hands up.
Yeah, either way, we'll see where
There
it
we
goes. Either way. So I got the straps on here, and we saw that technique. to hold the counterweights. And then I also messed with the surfaces to give them a little irregularity, to be like a stone or something to hang on. So we did that to it. We've got the ladder. This is ready. It'll go in, and it's the same thing. I showed that last week, how I just used the same thing we loomed with just to space them all, and then get them all on there. And we'll do this, and this will obviously get a lot of, this will end up just looking nasty because somebody's climbing it all the time, and we'll probably actually come back and dry brush some light wood because their feet are chewing these rungs up of wood all the time. So anyway.
Giveaway time.
Giveaway time. How many did we get up to?
We got up to 3. So 15
3
total.
dice. 15
Yes,
total.
3
Put
dice.
pegs in the axles. Yes, sir. Yeah, that I've shown you the plastics. It'll be the plastics, and then I'll cap the end. So those pegs will be in there for it to be able to go.
There we go.
Oh, well, now they're talking about a kilt. So anyway,
Oh yeah, they're talking about Justin not wearing pants.
he wears pants. I've never seen him with pants on.
Hell yeah, true.
Thank you, Ed, for perpetuating that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow, 102
I
people.
just thought it was, after you found out your wife was pregnant, that you were going to be a daddy, that was part of the ritual.
Is Patricia's not wearing pants anymore?
I guess. I don't know. Dude, you live over in Fort Worth, so there's just anything can
Yeah,
happen.
weird over there.
Yeah.
On that note, I'm gonna draw.
Draw. Get your
3.
freeze in.
Yeah.
There's 102 freeze, so
Yes, there are.
you go.
Which is that sounds about right for the number of people in chat.
Oh,
so.
wow. Okay.
All right, guys.
yeah,
gonna-
Moobot started showing how many entries you got in.
Yeah, I put that in.
No guardrails? OSHA would not approve. That is no joke.
Yeah, no joke.
It may not be usable for Reaper Live because it's gonna clog up chat too much. I think, but we'll see.
Thinking of OSHA, though, there is on Netflix right now, and I don't know the name of the movie. It's it's a documentary show. The shot as a one thing. It's not a series or a season, but it's about a Chinese factory or Chinese company comes in and buys a shut down factory, a float glass plant, and then reopens it. And they bring over like 200 Chinese workers, and they're rehiring the old American workforce. And at one point, they take a chunk of these U.S. people over to China and have them look at that factory. Same thing over there. And it's really, quite an eye-opener. But there's a section in there where they're just freaking out over these people are going through the glass. And he's like, they don't have knee pads, they don't have gloves, they don't have breathers, they don't, it was just very much a contrast on the two societies. But it's a good show to catch.
American Factory is what somebody's saying.
So it's what it's called, American Factory, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
I watched it the other night as an end. It was just running as noise in the background, and then it caused me to stop it. And it was like a real life. I don't know if y'all remember the movie Gung Ho with Michael Keaton, I believe it was. That was sort of the same premise. To save the town, he goes over there and gets the Japanese, I guess at the time, to come over and take over a car plant. And it was a comedy, so it was there. But anyway, there you go. So Dr. Bob watched it, so you know it's watchable.
On that,
So,
on that note,
how many did
I
you
have
draw?
our 3 winners here.
3 winners. Who are
Yes. Our winners are, here we go. Nuinkoad, I think is what this is. Nuinkoad.
they? Okay.
Oracle of Death, and ladydiredoggo are our 3
Wow,
winners.
cool.
Oh, ladydiredoggo. Congratulations, everybody.
Nuinkoad, congratulations to everybody. That's neat. Well, thank you all very much. That's good. They'll be subscribing to come back and watch.
Yeah, thanks everybody for all the new subs. I see some new people in chat that we haven't seen before.
Yeah. All right.
Congrats, everybody.
Do you want to tell them what they...
Yep.
Oh, actually.
What?
Hey.
This is new.
This is new. You can, technically speaking, it's new, but it didn't actually change too much. For the email, Ed, you can use reaperlive at
Right.
reapermini.com because it's forwarding. Or the primary email address is now giveaways at reapermini.com.
Okay.
Plural, giveaways.
Giveaways.
With an S.
Is that an IES or a YS?
YS?
Giveaways.
Giveaways? Giveaways with a Y.
Ron's not here, so I figured I would throw something to do
So,
with grammar inside
Thank
of
you.
it.
So, giveaways.
Why don't you put it away in there?
John's
So they-
typing it.
So anyway, so reaperlive at reapermini.com or giveaways with the S, the plural, at reapermini.com.
Correct.
That'll be the one to go to. Most importantly, you want to put your Twitch handle as you type it. So if you use a 0 for an O, anything like that, put that in there because he will cut and paste it. And you like it in the body of the message now? He keeps
Body
changing.
body and subject. It's wherever you want to put it. It's what's
Right.
most convenient for the user.
But it helps him just do a quick cut and paste. So
Right.
type it in as you have it in there. So giveaways at. There we go. Man, y'all are just making such great technical advances here.
That's why I'm glad I have this here.
Oh, that's cool. I hadn't even seen these.
Oh, that is actually something for the Discord. So on the Discord, we voted for a mascot. We wanted a mascot for the Discord. And we're going to start giving away one a week on Reaperland. And that was the prototype that I made for it. That is the mascot for the Discord.
And where'd you get the figure?
That's
out
us.
Of the, it's out of the Chronoscope line with the Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz. It is the flying monkey, the mechanical flying
They
monkey.
are really.
Go to the down
So
camera
go to
just
the
real
down
quick.
camera.
So you guys are actually the first to see this.
Let's see if we can get it.
Here's an unacid dipped one.
Yeah.
So this is an undipped one. It's going to look kind of washed out with the camera.
There we go.
It's a
Still
metal
find that.
flying monkey. It's a robot. And we kind of talked about it on the Discord for the mascot. And so I went and dipped one and polished it. So I'm going to make 52 of them. And we're going to give one away every Friday.
Are they polished?
The one down there is.
Would that be the ones you give away?
Yep.
The polished ones? I've always liked, these were some of the best figures out of the Chronoscope. I really like this one.
super cool.
When commissioned those.
Go and frame.
Sort of a Steamworks. Anyway, they're really good.
Can
But
you
they're
show
in
off the
Chronoscope.
polished one again? Up close.
Okay.
Yeah. So this will be, there you go. So you're going to get one of those a week.
Yeah.
So.
And obviously we'll be giving them away on Terrain Tuesday, right?
No.
Oh, darn.
These take way too
I don't
long.
get anything
They're
for
going to come unassembled. So I will acid dip, polish them, get everything ready, but they will not come together.
Okay.
You have to put them together yourself with the wings and the tail, but because that would take me way too long.
Now is this who's playing
Terrain
this?
Tuesday.
Yeah, Terrain Tuesday. This is Josh.
This is March's Terrain Tuesday.
Oh.
Go down in frame.
Come down there a little
Yeah.
bit. No,
No, like towards you. Yeah.
There,
up.
we go.
There you go.
Like that.
Here's the other three.
Okay.
We promised you guys in chat we would show them off, but
Oh, did we?
yeah. Here's here's the support character for next month. Oh, I love these guys. These
They're
are sculpted by
great.
Christine Van Patten.
Oh, yeah.
And then here's one of the monsters.
Oh, quite nice.
Go down in frame.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
I'm looking at the figure instead
Yeah.
of looking at what y'all are looking at. So, I like the way he mounted this, too, on the base. That
Yeah, the
really
bases
helped
look really
it.
good. And then here's the hero for this
The
month.
one who will save us all.
This is March. These are March's Mini Mondays.
All right. Oh, very nice. Very nice.
I expect the kits to be on sale at the end of the week or early next week. So there you guys go.
All right, guys.
So that's it. I'm going to get them while leave this so y'all can clean it up.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and start the raid here. We can
Yeah.
do our outros.
Yes, the Vanna.
Oh,
Yes.
Jimmy.
Yes,
They're still on?
We're
Wow.
going to be. They are. We're going to be raiding Jimmy.
Oh, good.
Ed, all the social medias.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, here's
Yeah.
John. You do it.
Facebook, Discord, Reddit, Instagram, Twitter. We're everywhere.
Twitch.
Yeah, the fastest way to get to us is Discord. Twitter's kind of a big one as well. A lot of paint jobs over on the Instagram. We also do a bunch of Instagram stories from behind the scenes. So you can see a lot of stuff around the factory. I've been posting a lot of behind the scenes stuff, so you should go check that out as well.
You've said that before. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can tell.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much.
Ooh, Dimitri.
Keep
Next
being
Tuesday.
awesome. And yeah, we'll see you next Tuesday or tomorrow morning for more Reaper Toolbox Pro Tips.
Oh, with Ann. Yes.
Yes, with Ann.
Tomorrow's
11,
Wednesday,
11
yeah.
a.m. Correct.
Man, the week's almost halfway over and we're just getting started.
It is. All right. Thanks, guys. Spread the Reaper love.
Y'all take care. Have
and
fun. Yep.
Keep being awesome.
Stay safe.
See you tomorrow.
And stay safe. See you guys.